Today is day 6 of a 45-day commitment to my 40th birthday, and the topic today is why thinking positive is misunderstood. You can get me on Instagram, Claire David, YouTube, David Claire, Facebook, David Claire. Now, the trouble with thinking positive is that, as you may know, if you've ever worked a labor job, then got a desk job, where you're using your mind all day long, that it is exhausting. It takes a lot of conscious effort to think positive. Because as you may know, most of our life is subconscious. It's all habits, it's routines, it's the way, like how you drive. Unless you're you're up in Ohio where I'm from, unless you're in the snow, you're just driving around not thinking, hopefully not mess around your phone, but maybe distracted by your phone, checking the radio, checking the temperature, looking around if you're out in the country, or if you're in the city, maybe looking at buildings. So you're not really paying attention. And that's how our life is predominantly run. 95% of what we do is from our subconscious mind. So to think positive is going to take repetition after 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 more repetition, and eventually you may make an impact in your subconscious mind. But really what it is that you want to do is you want to be positive. And that starts with kind of what I talked about yesterday, is forgiveness. You got to let go of what is holding you down. I wrote a book, didn't really finish it, but had a bunch of random collective ideas, that what I called the bobber theory, which is, if you've went fishing before, you'll connect with this right away, is when you reel it out, throw the bait out or throw the hook out or wherever it is, and you get a snag on something, whether it be a twig, something that you don't want, or even if you do catch a fish, when you pull, the more resistance, the more tension you create with your pole, it puts a lot of stress on that line. On that line leads to that hook. When you're pulling, if you imagine that it's snagged on a tree, it's pulling it down. If there's a bobber on that liner's the bobber is being pulled down with the tension. The harder you pull, the harder that line gets, the straighter that line gets, and eventually it could break. But if you let go, if there was a way you could press a button on your hook and it would let go of the garbage in the pond or in the water, or wherever it is, all of a sudden the bobber would raise up. And that's how it is to be happy, is you let go of whatever's hooked on your hook. And a way through that, 2 simple ways, is forgiveness, or find a lesson in what it's in. That's part of my vision workshop that I'm doing. I've got 3 scheduled right now. There's one October 3rd in Cyprus, one October 8th in Galleria, and one I just booked today. October 10th is going to be Westheimer in the Beltway, I think is City Center. So I'm putting in as much work as I can, trying to get my message out to as many people and impact as many people as possible. I really come from the idea that we are one, like the idea of the tree of life, of an Indian saying that no branch would be fool enough to attack another branch. But anyway, back to thinking positive. Thinking positive takes a lot of conscious effort. And the reason why we're 95% subconscious is because it's a lot easier to drive our lives when we're on cruise control than when our foot's stomped on the gas and we're accelerating through life. So we do things subconsciously. When we do things consciously, they become tiring. So instead of putting a lot of mental effort into thinking positive, just forgive. Find a lesson. Find a lesson in what it was. There's a lesson in everything. If you don't forgive or find a lesson, you're probably going to be drained dealing with the old stresses or the old pains of youth till 10 seconds ago. Someone cut you off in traffic. So instead of thinking positive, which could be part of the recipe of you becoming positive, is through repetition, because there's really only two ways to make a sustainable change in anything. That's either through repetition or through emotional impact. And unfortunately, emotional impact is usually not what we want to go through. And I think I've spoke about this before, is that emotional impact is the tragic event. It could be the good thing. Could be you had a kid and all of a sudden now life is just totally different. And I've heard about that. People tell me that as soon as that kid is in the physical world, life changes instantly. It's never the same. So if you think thinking positive is going to get you, you're going to have to do a little bit more if you want to be positive. But when you're being positive, it's effortless. Whatever you're being right now, it's effortless. You know, it may not be just totally effortless, but it's going to be a hell of a lot easier than thinking and thinking and thinking. I would suggest start writing positive things. If you're not familiar with what an affirmation is, it's typically something that's put in a present tense and in a positive perspective. For me, what I coach and a lot of people that I associate with, we have a sentence stem that is, I am so happy, thankful, and grateful. Now that. So I'm happy, I'm thankful, and I'm grateful now that. So now I'm in the present tense. Now that. It's not when I get. Because if you're always trying to get there to become happy, and you can't be happy here, that there, that eventually is going to become here, there's going to be another there. So you're always going to be chasing theirs. And here is never going to be good enough. Which you should, I believe we should never be satisfied, but be happy all the time. Happy as much as you can. I get there's times where happiness may not be it. There's environments, unfortunately, that aren't necessarily the happiest. But satisfaction is what kills dreams. If you imagine going to a restaurant, you go in there, you have a desire, you want a certain meal. Maybe it's a restaurant you've never been to. You go in there and you eat the meal, you're full, it tasted good, you're satisfied. But then what happens 3 hours later, 4 hours later, an hour and a half later? Are you still satisfied? You're not. You still need to eat. It's just like showering. You don't shower once in your life and go, well, that's good enough. I got rid of all the bacteria and all the filth and all that. No, you shower every day. You brush your teeth every day. You comb your hair. You take care of your body, your hygiene. I hope you're taking care of it every day. If you're not, let me be the first person to tell you that you need to take care of your hygiene on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day. It truly is important. this goes back to what I talked to on Sunday, a couple days ago, your inner circle. Your inner circle's not going to appreciate it if you got body odor, if your hygiene's at a low level. Do everyone a favor that knows you. Take care of your hygiene too. So again, thinking positive is part of the recipe of being positive. But being positive is where you want to be. Just be it. Don't think about it. You could think about a lot of things, or you could just be it, or just do it. Just do it to it. That's it. Good night.